Hi, welcome back to Know Channel. Ever wondered how cars know if it rains so they can automatically activate windshield wipers? Stick around and you will know. There are different ways to detect the rain on your car's windshield and consequently automatically activate wipers, and here is one of them commonly used. To understand how this works, we need to first understand the concept of total internal reflection. This is a phenomenon where light traveling from a denser to a less dense medium, like glass to air, reflects completely back into the original medium instead of refracting or bending out, occurring when the light hits the boundary at an angle greater than the critical angle. What's that? Critical angle? Let's explain. Take two media, air and glass. Air outside the car and glass for car windshield. Each medium has its refractive index, n, that represents the ratio between the speed of light in vacuum compared to the speed of light in that media. The greater the refractive index, the slower the light travels through that media. Important factor here is the medium change. Light must move from a medium with a higher refractive index, denser, such as glass, to one with a lower refractive index, less dense, such as air. Let's draw a normal to the contact surface. We measure the angle to that normal. As seen here, at the point of contact of the two media, the light refracts, i.e. changes the angle on the exit in such way that it moves away from the normal to the contact surface. If we keep increasing the angle of incidence, incoming ray, the angle of refraction, exit ray, also increases, and at one point it becomes so big that the light does not go through. We call this critical angle. We can use this. So in the car, on one side we would have an infrared IR emitter that shoots the ray through the windshield at a very high angle of incidence, incoming angle, greater than the critical angle, while on the other side we have a sensor that collects the signal represented by the amount of the ray reflected. Now imagine the water drop hits the glass. This means that instead the air, it is the water that's in contact with the glass now. And this changes the ratio of the speed of light between the two media, which changes the critical angle. And now instead, total reflection, we have the refraction, the ray going through, instead bouncing to the sensor. Absence of the signal means there's water on the glass, rain detected. Activate the wipers. To be more correct, there is never all light going through and all light reflecting. There is always some part of the light going through the water, refracting, and only some part reflecting. So the sensor that picks the amount of signal bouncing back needs to be calibrated to the right amount of signal. That would mean there's water on the glass. There's another challenge. How do we know if this was a single, accidental drop or a heavy rain? We take a bigger sample, but it would be too expensive adding many emitters and sensors all over the windshield. There is a smarter way. In between, we put a mirror so we repeat the step several times in order to cover greater surface of the glass and have a better sample to work with. Thus we repeat this several times, and the more water droplets there are on this path, the less infrared light gets reflected and more of it gets refracted, goes through. And that way, by the strength of this signal, the car knows whether to activate wipers intermittently or at full power. And now you also know. Like, share, subscribe, all the beautiful stuff. Until the next video.